Yeah, when I was approached, it was a real easy answer. It was yes. With respect to Salvation Army, and then they told me where this was going to take place, and then it became of course, hell yes, I'm going to be there, kind of thing. And this is something that I really was never going to miss. And then I started getting the information, and to be associated with a list of NFL greats that have been standing here before me. I'm just honored to be mentioned along with this group. And then as time went on, I started reflecting back in the relationship that I have with so many of the previous representative speakers. I was a true freshman with Anthony Munoz at USC. I was Dan Hampton's teammate. Sherman Smith, who spoke here, was probably my longest tenured assistant on my staff in the National Football League. Les Steckel was my offensive coordinator, a dear friend of mine. I crossed paths, and it wasn't coincidentally, but with Coach Fulmer probably 2 months ago on a different venture, and just the list of people that have come out in support of this annual event. And it's just really an honor for me to be here. I actually talked a little bit earlier about the full circle. Life has a way of doing those things, and way back in 1995, those of you that were here would recall that we had joint practices here at Marysville with Heath Schuler and the Washington Redskins and North Turner, and this is kind of where it all started for us as far as our initial announcement of our campaign with the express purpose of relocating the Houston Oilers franchise back to Nashville. It started here in Tri-Cities, so again, it's an honor for me to be here. So much of what I've been doing since I got off the sidelines has been charity work. It's where my heart is. That's where everybody's heart is when they're typically done what they've been doing. I've been blessed for 40 years to have a career in the National Football League, 22 as a head coach, and at this point in my life, it's outdoors, grandkids, and helping people. So I'm truly honored to be here.
Questions?
So we'll continue. Just somebody threw out a Super Bowl shuffle comment. No, we can go back. I mean, you can go back and get anything in fact check. I was not in the shuffle. It had something to do with my dancing ability and early raps song, but it was quite a deal as far as the 85 Bears were concerned, because that took place before the season started. And that's the team that stood up and goes, hey, you know what, we're going to go to Super Bowl, and there's not anything anybody's going to do to stop us. And in fact, we ended up doing it. But I have great memories, connections, stories, all related to that 85 Bear team. That's where, during the practice, Wednesday practice before that game against the Saints down in New Orleans, is where I was actually offered a coaching opportunity with Buddy Ryan to go to Philadelphia, so that's when I started. So a lot of good stuff out there. I'm gonna circle the wagons here and honor those that, at the luncheon, that those should be recognized, and those should be congratulated on their commitment to this cause. In addition to that, our former military personnel, our first responders, everything. This is what this country is about, honoring them and taking care of those that are less fortunate that we are. That don't, if they could, they would, and I guarantee you they would, but those that have been nourished, that have been provided housing over the years from this event and through this program, they'd be the first ones to step up. If they were able to give back, they would give back as well. So.
How do you feel about new Titans head coach Brian Callahan?
I'm excited for the direction that they're going. I don't have a personal relationship with Ryan. I know his dad very well. Not very well, but I competed against his dad and Bill. I have a connection to the defensive side. The defensive coordinator and linebacker coach were on my staff in St. Louis. I've known Coach Bush for a long, long time. So, I'm looking forward to watching them and see where things go. They got a lot of work to do. Grant Carthon was on our staff with the Rams for 5 years when I was there, so I'm close with Rand as well. But I'm just standing back, I'm that guy that kind of. If there's anything to take credit for in my run, it would be the relationship that we developed with this state and the surrounding states. And if I were to give them any words of advice, they see this, for example, I would recommend that they get out and that they shake hands and that they meet people. We toured this state for 2 years prior to making things official. Here numerous times, we actually looked at ETSU's facilities at that time because they were talking about eventually, or having training camp there for our first couple of years until we got settled. So Tennessee's a special place, and again, all the adjoining states football in the South is unique, and the tradition is rich. And if the Titans want to carry on the tradition, they got to reach out to the little ones. And the old group that got behind us in such a way that it's hard to match. Pre 9/11, when the airports were open, there was standing room only when we get off a plane after that playoff run that we had there in '99.
Did you ever have any interest in ETSU, coaching in ETSU? I know that's been a rumor that's kind of gone around here.
I'll go on the record and say I spoke, and I was honored that they reached out to me. I respectfully had to decline. I say health reasons, but I'm having some vision issues, and I'll help however I can, whenever I can, and that's what I've been doing. I've been helping small programs. Really close to Eddie George and Tennessee State, and helping them, not on a daily basis, but whenever I can. My oldest son is Eddie's defensive coordinator, so probably missed 5 games in the last 3 years, and I'm working with some other smaller programs, FCS programs, understand their challenges in this day and age with NIL and the financial challenges that they're going through. And a lot of ways they need as much support, from the community as they can just to survive. But I'm very impressed with Trey and his vision and what he's going to do with his staff. And I hope that it's a few years before they end up playing Tennessee State and be in run somewhere down the road.
Talking about this year's Super Bowl, do you consider the Chiefs in official dynasty territory now with this win?
I've looked at them that way over the last few years. Competed against Andy, friends with Andy. I got pictures of Andy at a punt passing kick event in Southern California, and I think the picture there were maybe 4 or 5 winners, age winners, and they were here, and then they were here, and then they were here, and then Andy was up here. Andy was the same size he is now back then. So I've been friends with Andy and Tammy, and I'm just really excited. I have great respect for that organization and the family, the Hunt family, and they got something going, and as do the 49ers, and not to dismiss the other 2 teams that were in the championship games, but I know Jared Goff really well, drafted him to the Rams, and very excited for Jared, and then I have nothing but great respect for the Baltimore Ravens organization. So for me, as they got in the championship games, it was a win-win for me. John Harbaugh and Ozzie was there, and Steve Bisciotti and everybody with him. So it was a win-win, at the championship game. And it was for a Super Bowl to go through in a whole another period to determine the outcome. It was pretty impressive. It's great for the NFL and great for pro football.
You see the Titans, as tough as it is to get to the Super Bowl, You see them close, or how do you see them?
I think, I mean, they're in a good position right now. They have, the division is improving. All the other three, no one expected Houston to do what they did this year, and people, I think, expected Jacksonville to take a step. That didn't happen. Indy's always going to be well coached and be competitive, but I think teams have shown that you can turn things around in a short period of time as long as you're making the right personnel decisions. I know that Rand will get things done down there. They've got a young side quarterback too, actually, but he's going to need some help. They got some key players in a lot of key positions, and they got the work cut out. But the way the National Football League is built, it'll afford teams to get back in the hunt literally overnight. So I would expect them to be very competitive.
What are your thoughts on the Titans' new stadium that's soon to be opened?
It seems like yesterday when we were involved in making decisions on what is currently known as Nissan, but then back then was Adelphia. And I went to a couple of games this year over there. There's a lot of history there. I hope they carry on some of that history into the new project. Beyond that, I mean, Nashville in itself is hard to keep up with right now. It's growing so fast, which is good for the state.
Moving on to other leagues, what do you think about the USFL and XFL merger for the spring leagues?
I was, when I got out, I got in that because of my experience relocating two franchises, and I spent, more than a decade on the competition committee. I had experience, and so when I got out, I was approached by Fox, some friends at Fox, and so I actually got involved with the USFL. Prior to that, I got involved with and helped from behind the scenes with the Alliance of American Football that was headed by Charlie Ebersol, Bill Polian, who's a friend of mine. So kind of behind the scenes, watching the spring leagues and so on and so forth. Had a great experience for the 1 year that I did commit to the USFL in Birmingham. To answer your question, they got their work cut out for them. Right now there's 32 professional football franchises, and there's 8 or 10 now in the XFL. There's not a lot of opportunity for a lot of talented young athletes, but it appears that they have a plan. We'll see how things go this spring as far as which direction they go, but there's quality leadership there. We'll just see. They're going to have to add some teams and so on and so forth, but we'll see how that goes. We all know what it's all about in this room, and everybody that's attending this luncheon understands what it's about. But what about the little ones? We got to spread the word. The next generation, the importance of not only getting involved and giving back, but the importance of taking care of the less fortunate. When it's all said and done, that's in my estimation, in my mind, that's a measure of a man is what he gives back. To see the participation here and be part of this tradition, and again, as I said earlier, I'm honored.